Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena and today I'm sharing with you a Southern Hemisphere energy update. Watch this video. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm so blessed to be sharing with you what's been calling to me very significantly, which is to start doing Southern Hemisphere energy updates. The reason for this is because, as a lot of you guys know, many of the spiritual leaders or YouTubers or influencers in the spiritual community are all located in the Northern Hemisphere. Even the ones I follow, most of the ones I follow are in Texas in the United States, in California in the United States, in London in the UK, but all of them are in various Northern Hemisphere places. And so when I watch these energy updates, or I watch their full moon or new moon or whatever it might be that they're discussing for right now for the collective, I noticed that a lot of what's being left out is us, our Southern Hemisphere people. So I am actually in Plettenberg Bay, South Africa. So almost as far south as you could possibly go in Africa. But really, I think generally speaking as a collective, right? We're all going through similar things. So these energy updates that are done in the Northern Hemisphere, they aren't they aren't illogical, or they're not unhelpful for what we're going through down here in the Southern Hemisphere, but mostly when it comes to cycles, right? So our cycles are flip-flopped. When they're going into spring, we are now going into fall. So there are slight, subtle energy differences, even though as a collective, we might be generally going through the same thing. Just because the seasons are changing, there's a little bit of a different vibe and a different energy that the Southern Hemisphere is experiencing. And thus far, I haven't found anybody that really represents the collective in the Southern Hemisphere. So if you know of somebody else, put their name down below in the comments, because I would love to check out other videos. And I haven't done a ton of research, but enough to see that this is a need that needs to be filled, in my opinion. So stay tuned for the energy update. What I first want to say is thank you guys so much for returning. If you've already been here, if you've already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back. It's literally my joy and my pleasure to make these videos. I love it. I love what comes through when I open myself up to spirit. I love talking to you guys. I love answering your questions. So if you have any, of course, put them down below. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. I'd love to get to know you. Again, if you have any questions, of course, always hit the subscribe button and comment on this video. Give it a like and a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when all the Southern Hemisphere videos are going to be coming out. But yeah, so this is what we're going through right now. So as a collective, if you're a light worker or a starseed or somebody in the energetic collective, what you've probably felt is there's a little bit of an energy shift going on right now. And this energy update is for April. So April 2023, essentially the whole month. I may make more than one a month depending on how I'm feeling, but right now we're gonna just keep it at one a month. And so right now we are in a shift of seasons, right? We are in a transition period. But what I'm feeling is actually a lot of lightness and a lot of momentum. So these are major differences because in the Northern Hemisphere, right, they're going into spring. So they're feeling like they're going outwards. Things are starting to bloom. Where we are, things are actually starting to go inwards because we're going into fall, into winter. So this feeling of lighter energy is now going to be more focused on the self, whereas maybe in the northern hemisphere, it's more focused on going out and being out in the communities, in the collectives. Whereas for us here in the southern hemisphere, we may feel this lighter energy, but we want to focus that energy back on ourselves. So if you're feeling like, I need to go get a new haircut, or I need to update my wardrobe, or, you know, I just need to refresh the things in my life, maybe do like a big deep clean in the house. These are things that are happening in the Southern Hemisphere collective. It's because we are now going into winter. We're going into a time where things are going to be slowing down a little bit. We're going inward. This is why this lighter energy is going to affect us more personally. And so we have this light that's coming in right now for this month. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend also watching Lee Harris's 2023 energy update. He is in the Northern Hemisphere, but this is so valid for what the whole human collective is going in right now. And so he also talks about a lightness that we can feel, like where we can really feel like we can open up again. Right? We don't have to be so enclosed. We can kind of open up. We can kind of relax into the energy. We can kind of breathe, right? And so if you've been feeling this kind of lighter, flowier energy, just know that that's coming in for the whole world. That's coming in for the collective. That's coming in for all of us to help uplift us, to help move us forward, to catalyze you in the next direction of your life. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere with me, this is what's going on right now is, you know, we're taking that energy and we're bringing it back into ourselves. So we might need a lot of self-care right now, or we might just want to do a lot of self-care right now. We might be really, really good at setting boundaries and saying, this is what I'm allowing and this is what I'm not allowing. Where before, we might have been a little bit more uncertain, or there might have been more wiggle room, right? Where we might have been maybe taken advantage of a little bit more, or where we might have slid on our boundaries. Now we've come to a place where we say, no, I know what I want, I know what I don't want, I know what I can handle, I know what I can't handle, and here's what I'm willing to put up with and not willing to put up with. And because we're able to do this, that energy is able to support us in doing this, and then we're not feeling guilt, we're not feeling shame for setting these boundaries, we're not feeling the need to be codependent with other people. We can look at somebody going through their stuff and say, look, that is yours and this is mine. And while we can converse and we can play in that space, we're less likely, especially as the empaths of light workers, starseeds, we're less likely to take on anybody else's emotional garbage right now. And that's a big positive that's coming in. So don't be surprised if during this month you see people coming to try and test your boundaries, to try to get a little more out of you. And just know that that's going to change every day. So what you might be okay with one day is going to be what you're not okay with another day. And that's something to just keep in mind, that we're human. We're always changing. So those things are going to morph and shift based on, am I more hungry right now? Am I more thirsty? Am I just tired? You know, all of those things play a big part into how we show up and what we're looking to do with what we show up as. So another thing to keep in mind here in the Southern Hemisphere, as things start to shift, things start to change, they start to slow down a little bit. And I don't even know if slow down is the right word, because as a collective, we're playing with time now that's actually speeding up time. So you might not feel it as a time is slowing down, because we are collectively like compounding our time and speeding up like exponentially. But what you might feel it as is like maybe more of a going inward. And I know I said that earlier, but it's more of like an inward focus, or it's like an understanding that the outside doesn't matter quite as much as it did maybe a few months prior, right? So we have more strength within ourselves. We have more connection within ourselves because this time is asking us to look internally. We're also going through a big reflection time. So if you're having memories of old loves, of friends, if you're having dreams about past things that happen or family members or anything like that, when we go into fall, it's really a consolidation time. So things are closing out. We are coming to completion with certain things. And for us, that really means like the mind will start to bring up memories from the past year or the past in general. And you may have big things that are shedding, things that you didn't realize that you were holding on to. For me, for example, what I have been going through recently is a big shedding from a relationship I had almost 7 or 8 years ago that I didn't realize I didn't realize I was holding so much guilt and so much shame from leaving this relationship. And so that really, I never really forgave myself for, breaking this person's heart or like leaving them high and dry. So that has been a big shedding for me lately. So if you are now, and keep in mind, this is what happens when lighter energy comes in, right? When the light comes in, what it does is it illuminates all the dark. So you may have some places in your body or in your emotions that are starting to be illuminated. And it might feel very dark at first, or it might feel very emotional or very intense, or you might be being triggered by things that you thought you had cleared or you thought you moved past, but it's coming up again. That's completely normal for right now, because what we're doing is we're making space. We're making space for more light. We're making space for more love. And where you're going, where you're heading in this month, it doesn't have like the same density. We can't hold the same density anymore. So things that are denser, like heavier emotions like grief or resentments or anger, shame, guilt, heavier, denser feelings like that are going to start bubbling up to be released, to come out of the body so that you can be feeling lighter. So if your body's already feeling lighter, you're already feeling more open-hearted, that means you've done your work, right? And you might be one of those people that's actually just ready to share that with others in this month. So it's going to be 1 or 2 for the majority of people. You're going to be doing more work and feeling more things bubble up, but it's going to be a good thing because the energies are going to make you feel lighter, less dense, more at peace with what's going on. Or if you're already in this month, in April, you're already feeling lighter and bouncier and more joyful and more open-hearted, then you are going to be the type of people that are saying, okay, let me share that with others, right? I have that freedom and that compassion within me that I already feel. Let me share that with others. And then that's where your boundaries come in, right? Is knowing what to give and what to hold on to. So that's going to be really important for this month. And I really, this month is full of beauty. It's full of possibility. And just know that many people in the collective right now are emptying out beliefs, are emptying out programmings. So if you feel a little bit empty, or you feel a little bit numb, or you just feel a little bit disidentified either with your body or with just, where you're going in life, just know that that's okay, right? I was talking to my partner and we were talking about the seasons and how the seasons change. We were talking about nature, right? And nature is not productive all year long, right? There aren't fruits blooming all year long. There aren't flowers flowering all year long. It has stages where it goes dormant. It has stages where it's dying. And the same is true for us. So going into fall, remember, what is it that you're ready to let go of, right? What are you ready to put to rest? Where can you be so gentle with yourself? Where can you be more cozy and more comfortable? How can you nourish yourself in this time of year, right? When fall is coming, our days are shorter. The sun is not as strong. So where can we nourish our bodies? Maybe you need a little extra rest because the light isn't coming up as soon and it's going down quicker. So our days are much shorter and more compact. So maybe you need to rest longer. Allow yourself to do that. For me, my digestive system is super sensitive. So I always find that when the sun goes down, I cannot eat, so my digestive system doesn't work as well. I don't want to say I can't eat after dark, because I can. What is it, the gremlins? I'm not a gremlin. Maybe in some respects I am. But really, when it comes down to it, I know my digestive system works the best during daylight hours, right? So how can you nourish your body in a way? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating the right foods for you, you know? So this is all about self-love. How are you taking care of yourself? How are you using this lighter energy to bring it into you through the foods that you eat, through the media that you consume, through all of the things that you do on a daily basis? This energy is asking you to stay high, right? To stay high and to stay in that energy as long as possible, because that's where the magic happens. That's where all possibilities can be born. So this time of this month is going to be very strong for quick manifestations. Quick. You know, you think about it one moment, and then the next moment you see something that has to do with it, or you hear something from a friend, or it's already there, right? So if you want to be in your manifestations, just stay high. Stay high and be okay when those negative emotions come, because what happens is you get high, you get high, you get high, and then something heavy needs to fall off, right? It's like, you think of like an air balloon, right? When you're going in an air balloon, in order to keep it rising, you have to let go of the sandbags, right? So you have to drop the sandbags in order for it to keep going up. The same is true for us. Anything that's dense and heavy and can't survive up here, we have to drop it off, which means momentarily, again, because it's fall, because we're in a transition, we're reflecting, momentarily you might go back down here and explore that a little bit, explore those insecurities, explore those wounds, and then when you're ready to release them, let them go, and you're going to see yourself just naturally float back up. So it's nothing to worry about if you see or feel uncomfortable, deep, dark emotions coming up this month. They're actually here to serve you so that they can fall away and you can actually just naturally rise, right? So it's not like I'm trying to keep my vibration high. It's like I'm just naturally allowing it to rise with the energy that's coming in for this month. I hope this video helped you. Please give it a thumbs up. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, please share this. I would love to get a collective of beautiful Southern Hemisphere souls going on, and just, you know, being able to be in communion with you guys. And this place, South Africa, has been my home now for almost a year, which is crazy. In May last year was the first time I came here, like, permanently. And so I would love to have more support from my Southern Hemisphere people. So if you're out there, if you catch this, if you're watching it, share it with other Southern Hemisphere people that you know. Comment below some Southern Hemisphere energy readers or light workers or starseeds or something like that, their channels, so I can go support as well, because I would love that. But if you have questions, put them down. Tell me what you guys are going through. I would love to know what you're going through right now. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time. Big love, Serena.